where 6 and 7 figure CEOs build their purpose driven legacy businesses through proven branding, marketing, and sales strategies so that they don't have to sacrifice their income and happiness for their mission. Thanks for watching the Life School Masterclass show. Join our Facebook group community of badass mission-driven entrepreneurs, and come back next week same place and time for our upcoming show.
All right, purpose-driven entrepreneurs. I hope you're doing well. Happy Tuesday. I can't wait to be back with you today with another amazing show and conversation with another amazing guest. A connection from our beautiful LinkedIn community, actually. LinkedIn is a great place to meet other amazing professionals. You know, I love my Facebook groups for the features of the community that it offers. But LinkedIn is also another amazing place to connect with really like-minded individuals, and also someone that is doing amazing work that we connected initially right away. So I can't wait to introduce him to you. He is ISAAC Kakone, and he's going to talk to us today regarding recovery through values. We speak about values here pretty often, but ISAAC is going to bring a whole different perspective to this topic today. So before we dive into that and try to keep our conversation, as I said at the beginning, our challenge is going to be, to keep the conversation within the time frame of the show where you're still walking away with great nuggets, but of course also respecting and honoring your time as well. So ISAAC, welcome to the Life School Masterclass show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much. It was a beautiful intro. Really well said. Thank you very much for having me.
It's such a pleasure to have you here. And I can't wait all the value that you're going to be able to provide to our audience. I just already know it from just speaking to you before. So let's start with ISAAC. I always ask my guests, share with us a few, I guess, of the pivotal points or meaningful things that have happened along your journey that have led to the work that you do today, to kind of get to know you a little bit better.
My name is Isaac, like we know. The pivotal points that we saw change. Well, the truth is, I'm the average person. I come from a broken home. Apparently, more than 50% of us come from broken homes nowadays, which means the foundation is already broken. When you don't really have the right guidance in life, you tend to have this mindset that you go through a lot of hardship, right? But the turning point in my life must have been, now, thank God I'm married, I have 2 kids, I have a wife, I've been through my ups and downs, but the real turning point was in 2019. I had a motorcycle accident that left me disabled upon impact in my left arm, and it tore the main nerves connecting my left arm, my C5 all the way to my T1, whoever understands the nervous system, from the root of the brain. It completely ripped. So it not only left me disabled, it also left me, with my luck, with a very severe case of neuropathic pain and phantom pain. This is chronic disability. I don't expect people to understand what it is, because until you don't go through it, you really don't understand what it is. But that was, I guess, the turning point in my life where I had to go ahead and make a lot of changes, and I had to learn to recover. The statistics behind what goes on in the chronic world, apparently it's 1 in 5, and since Corona, apparently it's only been getting stronger. We see more symptoms and more young people and the youth, and people have a hard time at work, and they feel like they're not able to speak up, and no one cares, and there's a lot of pain. But the statistics are 40% of us go through multiple suicide attempts. Now, suicide is not a lack of caring, or it's truly lack of purpose. It's you lost complete purpose to life. Irrelevant if you have a family, a good job with a great income. If there is no, we all know the price to everything, the value to nothing. And I guess that was the turning point in my life. I had to learn to recover. I remember sitting there one day after going through my suicide attempts for almost a month straight, huge addiction on opioids that I was mixing 1,000 milligrams per serving every 3-4 hours. So I had really got to a breaking point in my life. And I remember asking myself, what do I need to do? What do I like? What will help me? And I couldn't find the answer to that. but I was able to tell myself what I did not like in my life. And that was the beginning to my recovery. And the beauty behind recovery is that it got very clear to me that once I was going through my recovery, I was talking about virtues, these morals, things that have more meaning than life, from the instant pleasures and materialism. And it was more to it. And it was very easy for me to understand that, because there's no price, there's no vacation, there's no meal, nothing that takes away chronic pain. If you're living with it in a severe case like mine, where it's 24/7, it's been years. I've been living over 3 years with a pain. And the way I filter my thoughts is my arm is being cut off. Right now we're talking, and it's a motorcycle accident. I still feel that pain. But to go ahead, to recover, I realized by eliminating a lot of things, for example, like expectations and pain, I was starting to use things like self-nullification. Am I nullifying? How
Isaac,
am I
let
living?
me stop you a little bit there, because I want to just kind of highlight what you said there. And I mean, through the pain, that's why I asked that question, because a lot of times, through our challenges in life, it's where our biggest purpose and fire sort of arrives, because we just don't want to see anyone else kind of go through that. And in those moments, we're handed really the I guess the mirror to go in deeper and kind of reevaluate a lot of the things that we thought were important. And you kind of look back and you go in deeper with what what you're actually experiencing. So I love that saying, we know the price to everything, but the value to none. Is that what you said?
It's Winston Churchill. I wish it was mine, but he said, everyone knows the price to everything, the value to nothing. And it's true, because we all know how much the Mercedes we want to buy costs. We all know that a Rolex is about 10 grand. But can you tell me the concept of love? Could you go deep into the philosophy of loving yourself? If you can't understand these values, then that's what it means to live according to the price, but not understanding the concept to anything. So I was talking about values. That was what it was. And it's crazy, because I said one line to myself one day: I choose to retake control of my life. I'm going to heal in any form or way, but I'm going to start with certain virtues like self-nullification, like self-awareness, and then you have empathy, and etc. and etc. And then it got to a point in my life where I realized, guys, to recover is a physical, it's a mental, it's a spiritual, and it's a financial way of life. And when you talk about values, when it comes to a business and organization, they're called organizational values. There's a code we stick by. Now, if you don't understand the reason why, if you don't remember the values, if you don't understand the concept, then you could be working and you forgot the goal, because you don't actually know what you're doing anymore. So I realized through a lot of pain, it came a great gift of understanding empathy. And when I decided to structure a business, and first of all, I found purpose in myself. I realized that I'm extrovert. I could talk. Maybe I forget my thoughts, but with time, if I work on myself, I can actually hold a conversation. So you get to learn who you are as a person. And through those skills that you've somewhat accomplished, you're going to take accountability and you're going to work in that field in life. So I picked becoming a public speaker. And it's crazy, but nowadays, if I'm speaking to even a business regarding their business and how to grow, there are 3 values that I personally stick to every time. And the first one is self-nullification, because if I'm looking to grow, then I have to be willing to let go some of what I already know, so that I could allow new thoughts to come into my mind, so I could actually grow with my mindset. That is the concept. Now, more than that, we know that Rome wasn't built overnight. And of course, it wasn't built with one person. But if you're so caught up on yourself and your thoughts and the way you build things, and you don't allow the external help to help you, then you won't last in the long term. So I realized self-nullification is truly important. And then it came to leadership. I realized that there are leadership skills today. There's a book on it called Mindset, Carol Dweck. But leadership there's 2 forms of it. There's a technical leadership, and this is me telling you what to do. As your manager, I tell you, you have to get this report done, right? Now, most of the times, management actually uses only technical leadership. We tell you what to do. But what happens when something bad happens? Then lower management and middle management who have just gotten yelled at by CEO that the reports often, it comes back to you, and then you're afraid to show the mistake, but you never actually knew the job. You were unaware, and no one really helped you. So as a manager, you have to learn to stop being a manager, and you have to imply in life what I call is adaptive leadership skills. I need the people to, after when I'm done this conversation, be able to adapt into this organization I'm building on their own so that they could do it. If I'm not teaching this, then they're not learning. If I'm technically telling them what to do, then the pressure will always stay on me. And if I can't handle pressure, then when the owner comes to me, I'll break. And that's why you see a lot of people don't last 5 years at their job. A lot of people talk about burnout. Of course you get burned out. You're constantly like afraid that someone's going to tell you something, and you never feel comfortable to go talk to your managers. So I think we need to stop teaching management and learn how to teach real leadership skills like adaptive leadership. And this isn't hard. Again, the book Mindset talks about a growth mindset. A growth mindset, they checked with children. Now, if you're telling them that the work they do is good, that they're trying hard, that it's okay to make a mistake, all of these things become, oh, it's normal. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to try to grow from it, and we're willing to learn. And I don't judge myself because it's a normal environment here. That's how we work. But if I'm constantly just telling you the little things, oh, you did good, very good, okay, bye, then I only come to you subconsciously. I don't even realize I only come to you when I finish something good. But when I have a problem, I don't come to you. So managers have to learn to actually reach out to their employees. The boss needs to learn to talk to his employee. And how do you do that? How do you become a kind person in every way? How do you learn to service people? Not only the people you want to go ahead and service, but the people that work with you, because they're not your slave. They work for you. They feed you. You don't own these people. Without them, you wouldn't be able to create the environment you want. So we need to learn empathy. And the truth is, whoever has empathy to the core understands the concept, the philosophy behind empathy. You don't even realize, but that is service. Every time I go to talk about, I don't know, I go to a sales company and I'm talking to sales reps. And the first thing I ask is, what is your job? And they all give me their philosophy. I'm this, or what they got on the paper and they show you, or the people they've worked with. But what do you do? What do you want to do? Well, you want to service them. Because if you know how to service them and you're kind with them, then they come back to you. And then you have a long-term business. It's not a 2, 3, 5-year plan. You can have a 30-year business that only grows. There's a crazy story. I forget the name of the company back in the 80s, where this man, the company burned down. And they thought that he was going to cash in the insurance. But what he did is he ended up telling them at the press conference, not only am I not going to open up a new company in another place, I'm going to open it up again here. And more than that, all of my employees, my 3,000 employees, I'm going to pay them their salary until everything's back and running. When he reopened, their stocks went up 40%. The value of the company went up 40%. And he said, they're not my slaves. They're my workers. And when it's time to be a man in a world where there isn't any men, choose to be a man. So in an immoral world where the systems are so not understanding of the concept of guiding people, leading. To lead means you're willing to take accountability. Even if I'm the owner, I'm outworking everyone because I'm taking the accountability here. There's no one else to blame but me.
I mean, servant leadership and the way that we need to structure our cultures in our companies is so important. And the awareness has risen now. So I'm glad that we're moving forward with that. But leaders make more leaders, right? It's about empowering the people you have and developing your talent. So that obviously takes a whole different approach, collaborative approach, and understanding that those people are there as your partners. You're not their boss, right? They help you move the vision, mission. They serve your clients, right? So you know, having a culture that's based on those integrity, on those values that you mentioned, and understanding that everyone is very clear about their personal values and also the company values and how they connect together, it's what creates that environment of what you said, continuous improvement. Every day we improve. There's no perfection. Every day we're just getting better. We're always trying, new things, and we are improving. So people just feel like there's always going to be growth in that environment, because that's just the mindset of how everyone does it. So no one is going to feel like they're left behind, or they're going to be criticized for their mistakes and all of that. And failure is not an option. There's only learning, right? So yeah.
That's the mindset. That's literally the perspective, the way everyone should probably see. It would help us all, because it would get rid of victimization as well. Realize people don't realize, but I think one of the deepest issues we have today is victimization. And we all have to understand, like you said, that we're here to help one another. It's crazy, but through my year of recovery at the beginning, getting off my drugs and everything, I realized that within four walls, my name had no meaning. Like, my wife wouldn't call me Isaac. My kids don't call me Isaac. And when no one's around, then even you don't call yourself Isaac. So your name has no purpose. And it's crazy, but there is no point of me without you. And if you take this deep into, really, if you take it deeply into every point, even when it comes to moral behavior, a lot of people judge people for what they do. I don't judge anybody for what they do. Everyone is human and we make mistakes. I do judge it, though, your morals. Like, I don't have to accept your morals as a person. If you're okay with anger and negative virtues, that's to you. And I could tell you that I don't agree with. You as a person, though, I love. There's a reason for why you use everything. Without you, there's no point of me. And it's a real concept. It's deep. It's a lot deeper than what we understand. But again, it's the concept of empathy, service, we're social creatures. It's a crazy concept. We're all social creatures. We thought that we're like, I don't, what's his name? It escaped my mind. The story goes like this. Human survival, right, goes, and it's very easy. They said it was put out like this, that there's these two men sitting in the jungle, and suddenly one sees a lion and the other one starts putting his shoes fast. He goes, "What are you doing, bro? You can't outrun a lion." And he looks at him, he goes, "I know, I need to just outrun you." And the concept is like the one that can make it on his own. But that's not true. Society doesn't work like that. We all realize that every time people try to do it alone, we break. We've learned over the years that we're all very social. I think in the Bible, the first negative thing God says in the Old Testament, man is not good to be alone. Everything was good. He created everything, and then he rested on the seventh day. Everything he said, good. When it came to creating Adam and he didn't have Eve, he said, well, man should not be alone. It's not good to be alone. I shall create you a second. And that's when you have the diversion, and that's where we have Eve and Adam. So again, there are so many things we can learn from actually having our own personal virtues and values. And again, we pick them, and you need to debate them, and they have to have only value and no price. If there's a price to it, then it's not valuable enough to you. And I think the more organizations, or even people on their own personal companies, or their own journey, physically, mentally, spiritually, or financially, if we learn to recover through values, I believe that we'll have a very beautiful future ahead of us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And understanding what those values are, for a lot of people, that's where their journey begins, because a lot of the times we were just fed different, values or different stories that maybe don't resonate with us, or are not really, staying true to our true, authentic, character, personality, or what we want to believe. So we have to rethink, re-choose certain things, and recalibrate our values. And that's where everything begins. I love your framework, Isaac. So what are some of the topics that you speak on besides recovery through values that you're passionate about?
Well, the beauty about having values, and this is very broad, right? So once you have your own personal values, you could debate almost any subject. You go into it and you're looking for the value behind anything. You're having a debate, a conversation. It's not a bad thing. So you can speak about anything. So I usually speak either to organization, fundraisers. I had a JNF talk in Toronto not too long ago, I told you about before, which was great. 1,000 people. It was for an orphanage. So it was great, phenomenal work. Today I'm speaking about an industry, organizations, company, finance, It's a different game, but my niche, and again, this is something people need to get. You see, I just told you the broad picture of what I do, but we don't start with a broad. It's like trying to start with 10 things instead of one. So my niche started with mental health. I speak for the chronic/disabled community. The reasons for why I speak there is because that's my journey at the moment. I feel like what you go through is what will decide your purpose. I didn't choose to come to Earth, right? Now, if you don't choose to come to Earth, you're just born. You didn't choose to come here. When you're not choosing, that means there's probably a reason. And if there's a reason and a purpose behind it, then you have to wait to see what your purpose is, which means you're going to have to go through a bunch of life experiences until you actually know what's for you according to your values and your belief system and the way you see life. And from there, you can actually start a journey. But you can't give up. You can't break. 40% do go through multiple suicide attempts. People lose over 10 years to their lives on dependencies to opioids, antidepressants, painkillers, and etc. We have to learn to stop being the victims. I think it's probably one of the biggest things we should teach the youth is stop with the victimization. Being a victim means you don't even believe in freedom of choice. You see, if I get upset because of what people do to me, that means they dictate how I feel, which means I didn't choose to feel this way. Now, the concept of being human, what makes us unique, because animals communicate, dolphins use more of their brain than we do, and a monkey that reaches my waist is 8 times stronger than me. So the only thing that really makes me unique is that I'm able to choose to not be within that position. I have freedom of choice. I'm able to not just be the son. I'm able to not just be the person that I was, brought into the world in this X family or this country. I'm able to choose a different perspective at all time. So I wish a lot of people a lot of peace. And I would love for people to try to dig deep, find that knowledge behind what it means to be a victim and what it means to choose. And from there, you'll see. I would have never thought, guys, it's only been 2 years into my recovery. I would have never thought that 2 years later, I'd be speaking in front of 1,000 people, that I'd be getting invited on podcasts. This is not how you think it works out. But you keep putting in what they call that grind. You keep working and you keep learning to adapt to new mindset. Before this, I had a set mindset. I was a victim. I had a rough background, had a rough coming up. I left my house when I was very young. I was about 14, 15 years old when I left my house. It wasn't an easy life. So to me, it was always about me. And that's the problem. It's not about I in this world. We're social. It's about we. And the more we focus on these things, the better life gets for everyone, not just you, surroundings, and for the world.
And have that heart to serve and give back and kind of share what you know, right? I mean, it just becomes so much more fulfilling, because pain on its own, or life experience on its own, if it's not utilized and shared with other people, it just kind of stays with you. So are you really fulfilling your purpose or being fulfilled and sharing and making an impact if you're not going out there and sharing it, right? So
but that is your purpose. You're so right. I'm sorry I cut you off, but that is the meaning. You see, I specifically know something in certain fields that if I don't express it to other people, if I'm not talking, if I'm not reaching out, if I'm not being social and servicing with it, then I'm taking away the concept of me. Like, I go through my disability, I go through my addiction, I go through this X project, I built this, I'm a father. If you're not telling it over, first of all, if you're not learning it and talking about it and filtering it, you forget it. The smartest man on earth, if he stops speaking to people and he stops studying with people, he'll become radical within his own thoughts. He's going to go too deep into his own philosophy. Why? Because there's no external world to bring boundaries and measurements to what's going on anymore. So again, I hate it when I see people that are suffering, but they're not willing to even listen to other people. I know this might upset a lot of chronic patients, but chronic patients hate, when you ask them about yoga. Have you tried yoga? Do you drink enough water? And I understand it's a pain in the ass for people. Excuse my French, sorry. It's really annoying. It hurts. But again, I can't expect people to understand what I'm going through if I would have never went through it. And if we're all social creatures and someone thinks he knows something because he's gone through yoga, but he's not at your level of life, you can't judge him for that. You can't get upset at him. Again, you don't always have to deal with it. And that's why I tell people, Don't talk to everyone until you're able to talk with everyone. Learn who to talk to. That's a very big concept. Stop talking just to everyone. Learn who to talk to until you're capable to talk to everyone, so that the next guy who tells you, have you tried yoga? You'll be like, 100 times, I wish it works, man. I'm still going for it. It's a different way of seeing life. I'm not saying that I'm right, but the truth is, ironically, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life, and I would never take back what I went through, even though I'm suffering at this very moment while we're talking. And I don't use a smaller word because the word is suffering, but it has zero control of my life and my values and how I'm going to perceive life.
Well, very inspirational. Isaac,
Thank you.
I would love to ask you for a final message now. We have actually reached the end of our interview, but I could just keep listening because there's so much passion that comes through and so much experience that you have articulated it all, and kind of now are able to give someone else a guide, a voice, someone that might be going through something similar to your story. And yeah, you're right. Our niche chooses us through our life experience, and we don't really know how that journey is going to really impact us and the things that happen to us. But phases and stages. Everyone is in a different phase, different journey. Our journeys are individual, so you just never know who needs to hear what you have to say. So I think it's selfish to hold it for yourself and not to share it with other people. So keep doing, keep shining, keep spreading your message with people. I think it's definitely someone that needs to be heard, and there's so many people that need that inspiration to come, kind of, sort of, depict a new vision and mission for their lives. Even though they might not see it when they're in their darkest moments. I guess we all have them, just in different ways, but that's kind of becomes our light. When we come out at the end of the tunnel, we need to now hold the torch for someone else that might be going through that, and kind of just do that, just give back, one person after one person after one person, because we are all interconnected as a society. I love the concept that you shared with us, that we're not individual, we're not meant to be so individualistic, right? So we co-create together, and we always need to be part of one another, and we feed off one another's energy and all of that. So beautiful, beautiful messages you shared with us today. So Isaac, one final message from your school of life that you'd like to share with our audience, and also where is it that our audience can connect with you further?
You have me on LinkedIn. I'm also available on Instagram, Facebook, and my website is Recovery Through Values. That's where you can reach me. And I completely missed the last question. What was the last thing except for that?
A final message. I know you gave
final message.
messages.
I'm scared to get into a final message. It might take too long, but if I could go ahead and talk about anyone who's suffering physically, mentally, or financially, there are 3 steps to healing that I truly believe in when it comes to healing your mental. It's not specifically your physical, but it's 1, self-nullification, 2, making the difference, and 3, positivity. Making the difference is very important. Again, it's like I said about people. If you keep judging people and not their behavior, if you're not making that slight difference between the person and the action, you can get to a world of real hatred and victimization. And the problem with victimization and hatred is that you make the world unlivable. It's not even pollution anymore. It's not even any of what we believe, heating up the planet. It really just becomes unlivable because we're not nice people anymore. So I think we should all learn to no longer be victims. I think we should all take accountability. And if you're trying to go ahead and make a change in your life because you're truly sick of who you became, well, start with self-nullification. Make that difference between you and your problems, and positivity. A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. And I think the world needs some love right now. So I love you all. Keep holding on, keep having hope, keep having faith, and don't give up.
All right. Beautiful message, guys. Go check out Isaac's website and all the amazing work he's doing out there in the world. Thank you so much for your time and your message that you shared with us today. I'm very grateful to have known you and can't wait to do amazing things.
Can't wait to be in touch. Thank you so much for having me.
We'll absolutely do that. And I will see you on another interview with another amazing guest. Have a good rest of your Tuesday. Bye, everybody. Love to offer you a free high level strategy call where I would love to hold the space and really connect the dots for you in your life and business alignment from branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team, and really have you walk away with insight on what you might be missing and what are the gaps you are currently experiencing in your business between where you are and what you're trying to achieve so that you can get more income and make more impact with the work that you are doing in the world. Let me know if you'd like to connect, and I'll be more than happy to have a call and a beautiful conversation together to see if we can support you further with your goals.